So you're wondering how I got here. All the trash, the roaches, the FU Mario, the holes in the wall, the missing appliances. Let me tell you how it all started. Okay, so this is my third rental. It's in right by Madison in Horn Clark. Three, 1.5. I got it for like 66,000 on the MLS. This is 2016. I want to say this is after the rehab. I just put 20,000 into it. I put laminate, new appliances, new sheetrock. I did some work on the roof. I did foundation repair. I did new baseboards, new doors, new tile. Like I had this place really nice. I put 20,000 into it. So I put a for rent sign in the front. I got a couple of calls. I really didn't get a lot of calls that I wanted. I only got like people was offering like 1,000 to like 1,100. I wanted to rent it out for at least 13 to 1250. So this guy calls and he's like, "Hey, I could do 1250. I was like, "Oh, okay, that's cool." He told me he was on Section 8. I was like, "That's fine." I mean, at the time, I didn't think Section 8 was that bad because my contractor, he told me that they come out and inspect once a month. And that's a lie. They do not inspect once a month. They inspect like once every, like I want to say like 2 years. They do like, they inspect probably like after the year to make sure like, they just do like a slight little brief inspection, and they do like a major inspection like the second year. So he came and he was like, I could do 1250. I was like, okay. So he came. I think she was my girlfriend. I don't even think she was my fiance yet. She was my girlfriend at the time. My wife came. He showed me all of his paperwork. He told me that he had a voucher for like 40,000, and then he could do like an owner finance, and he's just like tickling my ears a lot. Like he's like, "Oh, I could do 1275, and then I'm a veteran, so you'll be making money from like different places. You'll get your deposit, and you'll just be getting checks all the time because they're gonna be sending you all this money and blah blah blah." And I was like, okay, it sounded good, but I spoke to my family about it, and my dad was saying like he didn't like the guy, should rent it to somebody else. So I was still looking, and mind you, I'm working on a flip. I'm working on my Katie flip. So I was over there like every day. Then my father, he was still working on that house. Like he was doing like little touch-ups, like little here and there, paint, like little stuff like that. And so I'm getting phone calls while working on my Katie flip, and I'm just like not thinking too much about it. And so I think I go to Section 8. I try to check out his paperwork and all that good stuff. And so I talked to his case worker at the time, and I'm asking her about different stuff, and she's basically telling me like there's no such thing as a voucher and all that, and she was just telling me how he didn't have money and blase, and then I found out later him and his kids were like living in a motel room. So I kind of felt bad for him a little bit. And so I think I decided to go further. And so I think I went to go check on the house, and my for rent sign was like behind a tree or something. So that was like red flag number one. Like the guy went and got my for rent sign and put it somewhere else. That was like red flag number one. So I'm still checking all this stuff, and then his one of his caseworker was like from I think the VA. They were like they only could do I think 900 or something for the deposit. I was like, no, I want 1,300. Like I'm not budging on that 1,300. Like if I don't get the deposit of 1,300, I'm gonna go and rent it to somebody else. So they told me that they were gonna try to get it done, and then I was like, okay. So I'm back to my flip. I'm just, every day I'm just working on my flip. So I think one day my dad calls me. He was like, man, the guy that I told you not to rent the house out to. He's outside with the appliances, and I was like, he was getting mad at me. He was like, why you still got the for rent sign and all that up, and he got the appliances, and I was like, man, that dude hasn't gave me any money yet. I don't have a deposit. I don't have first month's rent. I don't have anything. That's why my for rent sign is still in the front. And so I think he just left all the stuff there, like in front of the house. It was like a chair there. And so I think the deposit finally came in. Like I got the deposit. And then so I decided to go ahead and rent it out to him. Because like at that time, nobody wanted to give me more than $1,000. And I didn't refinance the house yet, so I wanted like at least $1,200. I wanted to cash flow $1,200, and I just felt like $1,000 at the time wasn't enough money. So I think I was getting like $1,215 from them, and Section 8 they like back paid me for like the days he moved in. So look, this is before I rented the house out. Like this is after the wash. Like the guy tried to just move all his stuff in the wash and dryer. His son like texted me like, he was like, man, my dad just spent all this money buying a washer and dryer, and you not letting them move in. And I was like, so I text back like, who the F is this? And then he didn't text back. But I had a feeling it was his son, but I think he hit me from some random number. So that was like red flag number 2. So, and then like the guy was already lying. Like he lied about the voucher. He lied about, I think, his job. He lied about how many people was gonna be living with him. He was already lying. But I caught him about the voucher so far. Like he lied about that, and then he lied about. He just told me it was him and his 3 kids. So he didn't lie about that. But then later I found out he had like a bunch of people living with him, like him, his brother, and like his girlfriend, and then like his son's friends, and then his son's girlfriend. So it was like 8 people in the house. A 3-bedroom, 1.5, 1-car garage house. So I rent out to him. Like everything's good. Like I'm getting my money from Section 8. It was like $1,000. And I'm getting like 2 something from him a month. Everything was all good for like the first 6 months. And then I think he texted me and asked me to spray the house down for like roaches. And I was like, hey man, like I don't really do this, but like this is not like an apartment complex. Like, we don't just spray like that. I was like, I'll send somebody out there, but like this is like the first and last time. Like we don't do that. And then after that, so I got it sprayed or whatever. That was like $100. I was like, whatever. And then I think he hit me up like a couple of weeks later. He was like, there was like a bird in the chimney. I was like, what do you want me to do? Like call like animal control or something? Like what? Like, and then like he stopped texting me. So I think after the 6th month, I started getting problems with the 2. I think his portion was like $285. And then I think he asked me like if I could do like if I could convert the garage into like a room. And he was like, oh, I could pay for the material. And like at that time, he was like having problems paying me the $285. So I was like, hey, look, you could provide the material. And then I was like, look, man, you can do whatever you want to the house, but I'm not putting no money up. Cause he was like, I'll pay you back. Cause I was like, he wasn't trustworthy by then. Like, I was like, I'm not putting no money up. I'm not gonna add to the rent because I'm probably not gonna get it. I never got any late fees already. So I was like, I'm not converting that garage, putting sheetrock up, and then putting like an AC, and then having the vents going there. Like that's a couple of hundred that I'm not trying to spend like extra. And then he wanted me to put like a slab in the back, and then like a seating area. And I was like, I was like, look, you can do whatever you want if you can come up with the money. And you come up, I'll send you my contractors, and then your people will donate. Like that's cool, but I'm not adding it. Like that's like no, like that's absolutely not. And then when I came and met up with like my contractors and then him, I saw that he had a dog. Man, I was like heated. I was like pissed. I was like that's like with a $1,300 deposit, plus I charged like $25 extra a month. So I told him, I was like, hey, look, you can either get rid of the dog or you gotta pay me $25 extra a month. So I'm thinking he's gonna get rid of the dog, but then he started paying $25 extra a month. I was like, okay. So he started paying that, and that was another flag. That was like the third flag right there. Like I should have evicted at that time, but at the time, I wasn't really enforcing all my rules like the way I needed to. Like I was just like probably like 2 years in the game, like as a landlord. So I wasn't really that strict on my rules, like on my late fees and et cetera, et cetera. So now we're like at 20. We're like at the end of. I think we're like at 2017. So I think he like called me one time because he said that the city ran up in the garage and turned the gas off. And he wanted me to like get it back up to code. I was like, cause he really what happened was he stopped paying his gas bill, so the city turned it off. So I was like, I'm not gonna get it back up. If I do that, I'm gonna charge you what my plumber's gonna charge me. And that's like hundreds of dollars. And so he just left it alone. I guess they were showering with cold water, cause there was no heat. I think a little bit after that, I think I didn't hear from him for like 2 months. But Section 8 was still giving me my $1,000. At the time, the mortgage was just like $650, so I was still cash flowing like $350, but I wanted my $285. So I wasn't really like. I think it was like 2 months I haven't heard from him. So, but this is like the start of like all the problems. Like this is like the beginning of the end, basically. So I didn't hear from him for like 2 months. So I'm like going to Section 8, asking him, where is he at? I haven't heard from him. I'm trying to talk to his caseworker. I'm like, have you heard from him? She's like, no, I haven't heard from him. And they told me, they were like, hey, look, we're about to do like a light inspection. Like you need to, they gave me a list of everything that needed to be up to code. So I go up there, it's like his 2 sons, and then like 3 of their friends. And like, house is dirty. House is like, it's not trash, but it's dirty. Like the carpet is soiled, cabinets are open. The plumbing is like, they had like a carpet under the sink where the plumbing fell down, and instead of like asking for me to fix it or whatever, or they just put like a bucket on there and put like a carpet, put like a rug. And I was just like, I couldn't believe like they were living in those conditions. And then they had like fans in the window, and I didn't know the AC was out because I didn't hear, I haven't heard from them in like 2 months. So I'm like asking his kids, like, hey, where's your dad at? And they're like, oh, he's out of town. And I'm like, so when is he coming back? Like, when is he coming back? Like, I don't have the rest of my money. They telling me Section 8 is about to come out, and, I got to get some stuff straight. I got to clean this place up. So I'm going there regularly, like every couple of days. And then I'm noticing, like, his son is parking in the grass. And, like, at this point, I'm like, I want to sell the house. I'm like, the house isn't, it's not salvageable, but I already had other rentals, and I'm just like, hey, I could sell this house right now for like 160, do a couple of upgrades, and I could make like 100,000 or something. So that was my mindset at the time, and then so I finally hear from him. He told me he was out of town, and he tells me like he had surgery or he had a heart attack. No, he said he had a heart attack and he couldn't work no more. So I was like, okay, so I'm telling him like, hey, look, you got like your sons are 18 years old. They can work, they can make 100 a week. Working at McDonald's, like, your portion's only like 285. So get 100 from each of your sons and your daughter, and you got it. What's the problem? Like, that's not like a lot of money. And then so he was telling me like he had to quit his job. And I'm like, okay, that's fine. Like, but when am I gonna get my money? Like, and so I think they came out that following Monday, and my AC man didn't come out till the next day after that. So they flagged it, and they stopped paying. They stopped paying the $1,000. So at that point, I was just livid. I was like, hey, look, y'all gotta get out. So I started the eviction process. They basically didn't take me serious until he got served. And when he got served, then that's when he started, like, I think he went down to like the Salvation Army. He went down, I forgot what place it was, but I think it was like the Salvation Army. And they it took a while, but they cut him a check of they basically back paid all their rent, but I had to sign something that I couldn't evict him. So even if I got that money, I couldn't evict him. So they back paid everything. I think I got like $1,100 or $2,000. I think it was like $2,000. It was something kind of high. So I didn't evict him, and then I think he had problems paying me his portion of the rent. But Section 8 started paying again. But I was at a loss of like $500. So I'm telling them like, hey, look, I need my $500. Like, I just spent like $1,000 fixing the AC. Like, hey man, like, this is the business. Like, this is not charity. Like, I'm not, like, I didn't go into this. Like, I don't know you like that. Like, I didn't know you before this. I'm probably not gonna know you after this. Like, I need my money. So he was like, whatever. And, so, we continue. And then the second inspection came like, I want to say a couple of months after that, and they flagged everything. They flagged all that stuff. They flagged the carpet. They flagged everything. They said basically I was going to have to spend like probably like $3,000-$4,000 getting everything back to code. And I was just like, I'm not going to do that. And so Section 8 stopped paying me. So I started the eviction process again. And he's like texting me, like pleading with me, like not to evict him. And like, mind you, like going back to the first eviction, every time I'm about to evict him, this is like the probably third time, he would like plead to me not to evict him. And then once I wouldn't evict him or he'll get caught up, then he'll start talking trash. He'll be like, he'll start saying like little cute stuff, like, me and my kids were here to stay, and y'all not gonna get me out, and blah, 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 blah. And it was just like annoying, like man to man, I just felt like, I felt like some type of way, like he was trying to strong arm me or something like that, like trying to make me like rent out to him for free or something. And I didn't like the way he was going about it. And so now we're in the eviction process. This is the third time I filed against him. And so I probably spent I spent $125 every time you file for eviction. So by this time I got my lawyer. She finally served him. I think the first time I didn't show up to court because I forgot, because I had a lot going on at the time. And so it got pushed back like another month. And then he paid me like his portion of the rent, but he didn't pay me Section 8's portion. So he brought himself like a month. And then he fought me to the end. He prolonged the situation like I want to say another 4 months. Like I had to go all the way downtown. I had to get another lawyer because that lawyer is a paralegal and she couldn't represent me downtown. Only I could represent myself, or I had to get like a real lawyer. So I forgot how much I paid her, and the judge was giving him the benefit of the doubt, and it was about to, because he told the judge like, hey, look, I served in the army, I got all these kids, blase, and my wife died. That's always was his story, like my wife died. And like he always had like a pity party, like he always wanted people to feel sorry for him. So she was about to let him stay in there for like another month, because he said that he already found another property to live. He just needed like a couple of weeks to get all of the stuff. So my lawyer called me, and I was at the movies, and so I was already annoyed because I had to leave the movie theater. And then she called me, and then so I was like, nah, I don't want him to stay in there a couple of weeks. Like it's already been like I'm already at loss at like over $3,000, plus I had to pay all my lawyer fees and eviction and all the eviction fees that I had to pay to the court. I think I was at a loss of like $4,000 already. So she was like, and I was just going down the list of all the stuff he's done to me, and all the stuff like he lied about, and all the stuff that he did. And then she was like, okay, well, I'm gonna convince the judge so that he could just give me the portions of his rent, and then I'll let him stay. And I was like, okay, that's fine. Give me the 2 something, and then he can stay a couple more weeks. So my lawyer was like, okay, well, you can meet up with Mario. And he was like, nah, I don't want to meet up with Mario. And I'm telling my lawyer, like, why is he mad at me? Like, I ain't do nothing to him. Like, he's the one that's living off of me. What did I do to him? And she's like, okay, there's an ATM downstairs. We'll get the money from there. He was like, okay, cool. So she was following him to the ATM, and he just like ran off. So man, the judge got pissed. The judge was like, all right, well, he got 5 days to get out. And she signed everything, and he had 5 days. So 5 days after that point, I'm at his house. I'm waiting on the cop, and the house was like destroyed almost. Like they tried to he tried to flood my tub. They kept everything on, like the tub. They kept like everything on. Like, mind you, there's roaches everywhere. They dumped all the trash cans in the house. There's like German cockroaches everywhere. They're like swarming on the wall. There's trash in all the rooms. Like, it was like disgusting. Like, I don't know how I managed to clean that house up. And I wanted to come with Q, but I thought he was still gonna be there. But they obviously they destroyed it, and then they got out. And then mind you, he took my refrigerator, he took my oven, and I was like, man, I was hurt. I was like defeated, like. But I went to work. I was already ready. I started, putting all the trash in the trash can and started dumping everything in the front. I had my guy with me, Jordan. He helped me. I had my dad change out the locks, and we started going to work. It took me like, I want to say 5 days to get out the trash, kill all the cockroaches, and then I had my sheetrock guy put in because they like punch holes in the ceiling. They like messed up handles. They put FU Mario on the wall. They spray painted in the kitchen. And then like he tried to make it seem, because there was like a small leak in the hallway, so they got like a broom and they like knocked that over to try to make it seem like it came from the roof. And then, so I called my insurance, and my insurance is like, okay, we need, you know, pictures and everything. And then my insurance wanted us to, I wasn't gonna tell Section 8 at first. My insurance wanted me to, like, I guess tell them to, like, basically try to reimburse me or something. So I told them, and then, you know, Section 8 was like, they didn't believe me. So I sent them all the videos, all the pictures, and then they called him up, and then he told them that he was gonna reimburse me, like he was gonna pay me back. And you know, I'm a busy guy, so I start, you know, my 4th and 5th house, and I'm flipping and all that and wholesaling. So I get back with Section 8, and they're like, oh, he didn't pay you back. This is like 20, I wanna say 19. So listen, he literally moved in from my house to like a 2-story, like I want to say 5'2" Missouri City. So like he moved out of my house into a bigger house with his whole family. Like I didn't stop anything. So I don't understand why he destroyed my house. But I don't think they knew that the ramifications was that they were going to get kicked off of Section 8. And then Section 8, you know, they say they kicked them off and blase, and you know, this is a video of everything. My conclusion is, man, thoroughly screen your tenants, like backgrounds, everything, like felonies, misdemeanors, everything. Like I don't listen. I'm not trying to diss Section 8 because I know people that had good people on Section 8. What I'm saying is you gotta screen everybody, even if they're on Section 8. You gotta screen everybody. Me personally, it didn't work out with Section 8, but I'm not saying that's not gonna work out for everybody else. But you know, it didn't work out for me. I found out later, like he was like drunk and he got in a car accident. And that's why his wife died, because they got in a car accident. He was drunk, he was driving, and she died like that. So, like his pity party, like at the end of the day, that guy's just not a good person. He just tries to get over on the system. He tries to he's just a con man. And I don't really like after this. I really don't believe in karma because I feel like he didn't get any karma for like all the bad stuff he did to me or anybody else. So, but in conclusion, I got Weeble. That's all like.
You said it, and I don't believe in karma.
No, man.
Alright, sorry, you got me with that.
Let me add my links, my Weeble, my sofa.
Alright, bet.
Okay, cool.
3, 2.
In the description below, I got my Weeble link. Sign up, deposit $100, you get 2 free stocks. And then I got my SoFi link below. You deposit $500, you get $25, and you get an account, a checking account, and a savings account. And then you got access to stocks and all that stuff, and then you can get like RRAs and all that stuff. So SoFi and Weeble. Have a nice day.